Hey guys, let me ask you, have you ever sent your CV and gotten rejected? Or are you still jobless and living at your parents'? Well, if your answer to those questions was yes, you're definitely about to feel a whole lot worse because we're going to uncover the story of animals who, unlike you, had real jobs. Let me start by telling you the story about Wojtek, the Syrian brown bear. Wojtek was born in the mountains of Iran in 1942, and after his mother was poached by hunters, he was bought by a group of Polish soldiers. Wojtek fell into place with the soldiers, being fed condensed milk from an old vodka bottle and acquiring a taste for beer. Wojtek would copy almost everything he saw, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, and even learning to salute when greeted. But you see, Wojtek wasn't all fun and games, and he actually carried his weight. One time, a spy broke into their camp, but Wojtek sniffed him out, and when the spy spotted Wojtek, his scream alerted everyone, and he was caught. One time, Wojtek wasn't allowed on a British ship as they had a no-pet rule, so the soldiers did the most logical thing possible and enlisted Wojtek as a private in the army, so he was technically a soldier and could be let on the ship. But Wojtek's biggest military accomplishment probably comes from the Battle of Monte Cassino. Wojtek carried crates of ammunition alone that normally would take 4 men to carry, and delivered them to the artillery successfully throughout the battle, and running through open fire in the process. Wojtek didn't drop a single crate and supported the Allies in recapturing Monte Cassino, and as a result, he was promoted to corporal for his performance, which is a crazy slap to the face, because how have I never managed to get a promotion? After the war ended, Wojtek lived out the rest of his days in a zoo, which is a sad ending for a corporal in the military. But he was often given treats and visited by other soldiers. It's said that for the rest of his days, he would happily stand up and salute whenever he heard Polish. Next up, we have the story of James Jumper Wide, who gained that nickname for his habit of jumping between moving railway cars. And as you might imagine, that ended really great for him, because one day he jumped a little too slow and both his legs were torn off by a moving train. Now you see, this was kind of an issue for James, because not only did he have a half-mile commute to and from work every day, but he was also a signalman, so he had to stand all day and operate the signals at the railway. Luckily for James, this was the 1880s and PETA hadn't been established yet, so he bought a baboon, named him Jack, and taught him how to push his wheelchair around and work as a signalman. Which I guess is a testament to the difficulty of a signalman's job. But what else could we expect from a guy who found his fun in jumping between moving trains? James would whistle at Jack a certain number of times, and that would alert him on which track to change to. Apparently, however, some train conductors were not happy with the safety of their lives being in the hands of a baboon, so they complained to the railway company. You can probably imagine how confused the railway's HR department were at that complaint. But when they eventually got around to investigating it, they were probably even more confused to find a baboon actually working the signals. However, the investigation didn't go as planned because they were actually really impressed with how good Jack was. So, they ended up hiring him full-time on a salary of 20 cents per day and half a bottle of beer each week. And for all 9 years of Jack's career as a signalman, he never once made a mistake. The perfect employee, and we worry about AI replacing our jobs. Jack became famous for his job and was friendly to everyone until he passed from tuberculosis in 1890. His skull is preserved at the Albany Museum, and he is forever remembered as a legend in the signalman game. Now let's talk about the U.S. Navy's military marine mammals. The U.S. Navy has been training marine mammals for a long time, actually, and they use them to locate, mark, and rescue objects in the sea. The Navy tested 12 species to figure which were best to work with, including sharks, rays, sea turtles, and even marine birds. But eventually, they realized that nothing quite does it like dolphins and sea lions. Dolphins are used to detect naval mines and objects on the ocean floor. They wear these harnesses, which they can use to mark the targets. Both dolphins and sea lions have great low-light vision and underwater directional hearing, which helps them be great at tracking and spotting objects underwater. The sea lions are used to attach recovery lines to objects with these harnesses they wear. This is because sea lions, unlike humans, don't suffer from pressure sickness, so they can descend and ascend quickly with no issues. During the Gulf War, both dolphins and sea lions played a huge role, and to this day, the U.S. military still has dolphins and sea lions in their program. So, if you didn't feel accomplished in your life, just know a bottlenose dolphin helped a country win a war while you're at home watching this video. Next up, we have Magawa, who has more accomplishments than any other rat I'm aware of. Magawa was a Gambian pouched rat and was born in 2013. Magawa was trained in landmine removal work and could even detect tuberculosis in people. Magawa was trained under a popo, which is an organization that specializes in training Gambian pouched rats, and the rats that successfully are trained gain the title Hero Rat, making Magawa a hero rat, because by the end of 2021, Magawa had cleared 56 acres of land in Cambodia from 31 landmines and 38 instances of other unexploded objects. Because Magawa wasn't skilled enough, he was also taught to sniff out TNT, which allowed him to work even faster and more effectively. Talk about dedicating your life to your work. Because Magawa was so light, he was able to stand on top of mines without triggering them, and worked far faster than humans could with any tools. He even managed to receive the PDSA Gold Medal in 2020 for his work, and he is the first rat ever to do so. Just know there's a rat out there with more gold medals than you, and it's very well deserved. Magawa, the most successful mine-sniffing rat in history, was described a very good rat by the program's manager. He spent his retirement mentoring new rat recruits and snacking on bananas and peanuts, which I imagine was a fulfilling ending to the story of the world's most successful mine-sniffing rat. So there you have it, guys. Animals who had real jobs. While you sit on your laptop scrolling through YouTube, these guys contributed to society. Comment if you have any video ideas that you'd like to see. And thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more content.